So first of all, we've got the get down get ups. Simply get yourself down on the floor. Everything's down there, chest, quads, hips, and get back up again, one leg at a time. Following that then, on the recovery day, you've got the wrist fence, which is basically bringing flexibility into the wrists. So you put your hands flat on the floor and just rock back and forward nice and slowly, finding that range where you get a good stretch and don't put too much pressure on the wrists, trying to keep the weight back on the feet and the knees. Once you've done 5 with the hands facing out, you want to turn the hands around so the fingers are pointing towards the knees and rock back and forward again, getting that nice stretch up the front of the forearm. You want to go 5 reps, 5 rocks in each position. And then here we'll want to do the back of the palms. So you're starting on the knuckles with the fingers flat, and then you're bringing the back of the palms down towards the floor. Go for 10 reps there. Try to keep the elbows straight, keep the arms locked out straight. If your elbows are bending initially, then obviously your progress marker is whenever you're able to do it with straight arms. And this is the start of the blue steel flow. So this is the hip lift. We're squeezing up that area between your hip bone and your bottom rib by kicking your leg out. So you kick the leg out and squeeze the side where your obliques are. 5-second pause, and then kick your leg out on the other side. Keep your body up nice and tall. Try not to lean too much. Okay, and there it is again, just squeezing the obliques. After that, so straight after you do the hip lift, you go into the glute squeeze. So all you're doing is standing still with your feet pointing forward, and you squeeze your glutes. Just squeeze your glutes for 5 seconds. Tense them as much as you can. Following that, then you just descend down into a nice deep squat. Go as low as you can go with your heels on the floor. If you can get down this low but you're on your tiptoes, you're not doing it properly. Make sure the weight's on the heels and go as low as you can. Over time, your mobility will increase. So then you walk your hands out, staying nice and low from the squat. Drop your hips down and then press your upper body up off the floor, trying to keep your hips in contact with the floor. Look up nice and tall. Hold that position for 5 seconds, and then you're going to go into your shoulder pops. So you drop your right shoulder forward, look over your left, and then you twist again, drop the left shoulder forward, look over your right. Just show you from the side here. So this is it from the side. So this is the back extension. So you walked out from your squat into hips down, up into this back extension. Then you do your shoulder pops where you drop your right shoulder forward, look over your left. Drop your left shoulder forward, look over your right. And you want to head there for about 6 reps, 3 on each side. And again, try to keep the arms nice and straight. Again, that's working wrist flexibility and getting nice rotation on the spine. And this one's called the child pose. So after you do your shoulder popping, you just sit the ass back onto the heels and stretch the arms out as far forward as you can. Hold that position for about 5 seconds. Rock yourself forward and then rock back down again into that stretch. This stretch will stretch the lats out, stretch the chest as well. Try and keep the head up rather than dropping the head through for a more intense stretch, and push your palms down into the floor. Okay, following that then you've got the spinal waves. So you want to arch your back as much as possible. An easy way to do this is to squeeze your hip bone up towards your ribs, so contracting the core. And then you want to do the opposite then, so you want to dip the spine and look up, sticking the ass up as well at the same time. So you go build a bridge with the spine, nice big arc, and then you want to do the opposite of that, create that big dip in the back, looking up and pointing the hips up towards the ceiling as well. So build a bridge, create a dip. Hold each position for 5 seconds. Don't forget to look up and pull the shoulders back. Okay, from there, then you're going to do the neck nods, which is basically holding yourself in the 6-point position, same way you do for the bird dogs, etc. And just nod the head up and down, full range all the way up, full range all the way down. Go for 10 reps. Following that then, bring the knees up behind the hands. Give yourself enough room between the feet to put your ass on the floor. and bring yourself down into this position. If that's too intense for you, because you might get feel a really intense stretch in the ankles and the quads and the hips, then you go down, walk yourself back onto your palms. Basically work with the range that you're at the minute, but eventually you want to be in this final resting position here, with the back on the floor. But it does take a long time to get there. Work with your range, and every recovery day you'll see an improvement. Following that, then you go into a press up plank position, hold that for 10 seconds. And then you want to inchworm your feet in slightly. And then you want to inchworm your hands back to the heels on the floor, keeping the legs as straight as possible. And you're going to repeat that 3 times, the blue steel flow, before you finish with 20 get down, get ups.